agree with you. If the CTs do it carefully, then
We
they
can
can't
we
control
can
the
we can
ball.
cover this topic late into the rounds. This will be
We
something
sure
we'll be
can.
talking about later on. You're watching CEVO TV. It's a best of three. Justus Pro versus Armata. Somebody's going home tonight. Somebody gets another chance at it later on this week. We're getting started, and our opening looks like a 4-1 stack for Armata. Doom's gonna peek, scout T steps, and probably give the all clear. You're not going to see those CTs push down because if they run down Banana, there's probably a T-steps trap for them. He can hear the pain train, and free headshots. Doom had the first and a double lined up just for him. Shazam dodges the bullets narrowly and engages in a... What? A burst fire kill, the first time we've seen it in the history of Global Offensive. That thing is so useless now. The T's have traded spots with the CTs, and now they'll flank back through. 3 alive for both teams, but the CTs are out of position. They hold no defensive positions across the map, and the T's have taken up residence inside of bomb site B. 2 versus 3. That guy has the flank, and an easy headshot. 2 versus 2. They'll come both from Banana, I think. This is crazy, Clay.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I'm honestly still trying to wrap my head around as this is going on, but keep going with the PXP, and I'll try to...
Planks holds the new box. He has a crossfire from CT, deep from CT. It's a Glock at that distance. It's hard to use, so you're going to need to get a kill from Planks. 1 versus 1, and the kite begins. He drills that shot. The guy in red's one wasted in just moments. Justus Pro has the kill, and they will get maybe 2 more.
So that was a pretty interesting round. You saw the majority, 3 members of Justus Pro go through apartments, 2 boiler, and then out towards Arch. And then 2 people just sat at the T apartments right here, just waiting. And the flank came from the CTs over aggressively, and that allowed the bomb to just go straight into B with no one looking at it because they were too busy in mid fighting the Shazam, who actually was in the apartments, while someone also walked through middle to CT spawn. So yeah, that was just a big...
I don't think in all of my time on Counter-Strike I've ever seen 2 teams of 3 or 4 swap places on the map like that. Maybe if there's 2 people alive.
Yeah. That was very interesting. Quick rotates, probably too quick. Yeah, and I mean, that just shouldn't have happened, honestly, but it's still pretty impressive. I wonder how planned that was by Justus Pro. I mean, it looked pretty planned, but I'm surprised that the 2 who got into B, or the one that got into B, just was able to get in there so easily.
So Shazam has taken considerable damage after dropping Romulus from the boiler. He has a Galil that he could pass off to one of his teammates, as though he's not nearly as combat effective with that weapon. Look at this ambush set up for Shadow Assassin. AGM turns. The guy had his prey. I think he was going to let him walk past and try to pick up a double. He got a little greedy, and of course was punished duly for it. Everybody's in the site with the exception of 1 Banana controller. It's Shazam, no deaths taken by the T's, and this is, well, I wouldn't call it a perfect execute. It was sort of improvisationalized, but it's good enough. You don't lose any guns, your economy builds.
Yeah, they just played it slowly, didn't try to do anything fancy, and just went for the B take, using their gun superiority to just get in the site. And you know, they did a great job. They hit their shots, and you saw the CTs kind of try to push up, but just didn't make anything happen, didn't hit anything. And one thing I noticed, Samrock had that CZ, and he tried to still use it from a range at CT spawn, and with the patch, that's not going to work.
We're flashed. There's a trade. Doom will drop back. Shazam down, victim of that P250. Then another trade, 2 and 2, and this is a favorable trade for the CTs who need guns and need deaths. It's important. Why? Are they going to win this round? It's not likely, but if you don't get any kills in the first 3 rounds and don't build up those couple extra $100, 300 here, 600 there, 100 there, you're not buying any smokes. You're not buying any flashes come gun rounds. And on Inferno, like we just said, you need them. Spray down, and the guy may pick up a random. He can't. How unlucky for him. They'll come across and split execute on a, nope, just 2. No wrap, and a force up the highway or the port side. There's still 1 in the pit. Doom hides for days and days and days, and he gets the kill. 1 versus 2. He can get a gun if he just strafes across. James, he won't let it happen. 3 rounds for Justus Pro, but they took heavy casualties on the last one.
Nice aggressive push by Armata from mid and B. You know, they did a good job, picked up 3 kills that round, forced some rebuys, so that's good for them and good for their economy, like you said. And I liked what Justus Pro did right there, leaving the lurk behind, knowing that the guy was there on the flank, and they knew they should have been able to 2v1 Doom, who was left in A site. So good play from both teams, actually.
Are you a little bit curious at all? The answer is yes, but I'm going to ask you a rhetorical question. What does this team's offense look like with Shazam, with AGM and Flowsick? Is it going to be a split default pick? It has to be because there can't be that much chemistry yet.
Yeah, I think it is. And just that's essentially what we just saw set up right there. They were split around, trying to get a pick, and actually Reds, who once again new to Armata and has been performing very well for those guys as of late, got that trade. So I mean, kudos to him. But yeah, I mean, I think that is what they're going to be going for, the split pick, and just kind of working with their aim and seeing if they could just get entries across the map. And if they do, then they'll go take advantage of that entry and take that site.
What you're normally going to see at this level of play and teams that are not 100% in sync yet is a basic split on A, a solid wrap from the brackets to the porch and the brackets to the arch, and then you're probably going to see a set piece set for B, maybe even a bunch pick at B. 1-1 on the trade, 2-1 on the trade. The guy wins the battle. Then they have Romulus coming back around to Moto to protect. The bomb is now dropped and safe in the hands of the two. Oh, Planks is cut through. He's flanked in between these two CTs. Do they know? We have to stick with him. Our number 6 catches the guy. There is nobody there. And Red 1 is ready for the flank. He does significant damage, then finishes the job. 2 versus 1, and Shazam's about to eat a frag nade. He dodges certain death. We go to our last man standing. Shazam runs away, only to save his op with 6 seconds left. Those 3 rounds, you know, you can see the CTs clamp down on the fourth round, the gun round. You see that commonly. It's so important for teams to get those first 3 as a cushion. If you play a bad half with just 3 gun round wins, a total of 6 is enough to win you that entire Inferno map. So Justus Pro, they'll run away if they have bad trades like that.
They will. I mean, you know, Reds did a great job going for that aggressive trade, and then you saw Armata did the smart thing and went back to the secondary positions, so they would have more of a defensive feel on these sites and allowed Justus Pro to come to them.
Were you a little impressed? Were you a little impressed at Planks reading that defense and just knifing through into Moto that fast?
Yeah, it was very impressive, and it almost worked out for him, but too many people still left in the pit. Well, not too many people, just one person.
One too many.
Yeah. Thank you.
Smoke 4 mid will block off the execute on A. That was looking like the action point build-up. Note that the bomb is dropped at the back of Banana, so this split pick at A, it seems to be all a front. Just a facade to allow the CTs to consider over-rotating and make the commitment to defend A. More than likely, the number 9 man, Shadow Assassin, AGM, he picks up that bomb and runs B. But never mind.
I think it was kind of set to go either way. Had they gotten 2 picks at A, I think they would have. Oh wow.
The whiffs. He hates himself, but he comes back for it. He did considerable damage, and then came back trying to make the Uber pick. It doesn't work out. Planks has charged the site. He gets traded from the pit. Reds 1 never even saw him, but he'll spray down the lane, still trying to do damage. And Shadow Assassin is in. The defense was perfect, and it just fell apart horribly at the end. Were they all flashed?
No, I mean, there was a smoke in their face, but I didn't see any flashes. They did have a guy coming out the apartments at the same time, which the pit guy should have been on him. I think he was too busy just trying to spam through the smoke, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, you got to be aware of that and trust in your other teammates to cover the spots that you can't be looking at all the time, so you could, you know, be dedicated to the spot that you're supposed to be looking at.
Sure. We're getting word from our producers to let you know that the voice enable 0 needs to be switched on momentarily, or just for the remainder of the match.
Okay, I'll do that right now.
We'll go to a be right back screen, guys. We'll come back to the game screen and we'll turn this into a radio broadcast. I'll make it vivid. A overcast day.
We're already back.
A rustic. Damn it, Clay! I wanted to describe him right now. 4-1. Ruin it for me. Why don't you tell me about how that last round went?
I mean, it started off pretty good for Armata, but like I said, that small defensive mistake where the player in pit was too busy looking towards truck and wasn't watching his balcony area when he had someone with him on the truck side. That just cost them. They lost the hold after that, and yeah, the site went down.
We confirm that this is Armata's map, isn't it? They're the home team.
Yes, this is their map. They started on CT, which is what they wanted, and yeah, I mean,
Ecoing this many times early on in the half gives Justice Pro a significant lead, and fostering a lead on T side is house money for them. It feels great, but for Armata, I almost feel like this early into the half that they are pretty close to reaching panic territory.
I mean, they still got a ways to go. I think once Justice Pro, if they hit 6 or 7, then I think Armata is definitely going to be feeling. This is going to be an important round for them because, oh no, do they have to double save?
I think they do.
It's looking that way, yeah. I just noticed that on the economy, and if that's the case, then yeah.
Yeah, panic
I'm changing my
territory.
team. Yeah, it is panic territory. I thought they'd be on a bye round, and I was gonna say, if they could win the round, then they could swing it back into their favor and get some economy going. But yeah,
Well,
now it's just
I'll say it like this. Take the context out of it. I'm just going to say in any game, no matter what team, by round 7, you're on CT and the score is 1-6. That's panic territory.
it is. I mean, we have seen weird things where, you expect the stronger side to net more rounds for a team, but then they go to what is the map's weaker side and they do extremely well, and maybe that will be the case for Armada here. But I mean, giving this much up to Justice Pro, an experienced team, a strong team, yeah, I mean, it's definitely playing with fire.
Now Armada backed up against the wall, thinking about scenarios such as winning out, winning mostly everything. Let's think in the short term. Armada just simply needs to build their economy so they can have continuous rounds where they have a chance at success. They'll drop back. They don't try to control Banana, which will, of course, not allow them to dictate the clock and how that plays out like we had suggested earlier. But you can't blame them. They're getting dominated in the Banana right now, so they can't afford to play like that. They'll play back with the Crossfire. 3 at mid, 2 in the side of B, and Justice Pro moves to a default single support in Banana and a no attempt to control the apartments yet. They're playing very timid at that point.
Yeah, and just to go to your point, they don't have the economy to try to control Banana. It's a risky play, and if they get punished for it, then they're just, they're completely out of this half for the most part. And I'm honestly surprised at their aggressive peaks on A, with being in that same scenario, because they need to play it passive.
Look at this. Justice Pro has a set piece for A.
Yeah,
We'll have to follow those smokes.
Not too surprised, honestly.
So 1 smoke for Arch, 1 will be for the pit. They'll walk toward their smoke, peek the moto, fight Doom. He'll drop back to the site, and they may press their own smoke. The guy picks up 1, and while backpedaling could have had another one. Doom has another, then Red's 1. This is the response. This is the response of seasoned teams, and even if they're playing down, they're playing poorly, they're having problems, they can gather themselves and begin to build their economy. So let's see if that's true with 3-9, 3-7, 4-0, 3-6. Very few rebuys. That's one of those comforting rounds that you really need right now.
Yeah, and I mean, their economy obviously is still hurting because they were in such a bad position on that last round that they had to fully buy, and it brought them pretty much down to 0. So they didn't really gain too much from that round. They need to win this one to get a little bit of a cushion here. But I mean, that round was well played by Armata. They did the nice passive approach, and when the smokes came out from Justice Pro, we actually saw the same smokes 2 or 3 rounds ago. Armata essentially knew what was happening, and they didn't panic. They just went to their more passive spots, the secondary positions, and they made good plays. And this time they actually had someone watching, the pit guy watching the apartment, and they didn't get hit from 2 different directions, and they were able to control it a lot better.
We have a boost peak. Look at this. Shazam, the number 8 man, has looked in over the smoke, found a player, and then he had to drop out because he realized he couldn't get the shot onto him. It's a battle for Banana now. And they've held the T's at bay at the bottom of the entrance of Banana for such a time that the clock has drawn down to 50. And by the time the T's reach the top of Banana, they cleared all the car spots, the pillar spots, the logs, the sandbags. It'll be way late into the round. This is a recipe for success. Now it falls upon the A players to make the big play. Doom has started that off. Shazam's lost the op battle, and you know that Shazam's a career opper, so you don't typically see that happen. JMZ has the trade. They look in the pit for the next player. Reds 1 wins the battle, then looks into the lane, sees 2 players coming. Floki trades him 2 versus 3. The guy, Samrock, and Doom. No bomb plant for that flank. Armata has won it, and it was all because of clock management.
Yeah, they forced Justice Pro to get in there and, at a low time and had to execute quickly. But they also just held it very nicely as well. And you saw that good pick by Doom, out-opping Shazam, which was huge for them that round. But one nice thing I saw from actually Floki, he threw that Molotov in the pit, which forced the pit player to the truck side. And then he obviously was just looking at that, waiting for that to happen, got the easy kill. And it almost...
we have a PUBG rush going on right now.
Yeah.
The bomb gets dropped. The guy will call his teammates over. He has to conserve ammo because every single roster member of Justus Pro is here, and it looks like it's going the way of Armata. A lot of damage taken. The flank is on. Reds one has one. Float 6, the last one alive, and he's trying to get a knife kill. Not going to happen. Armata's pulled within 2.
So this is going really good for Armata. They've won the last 3. If they win this one, that's going to force Justus Pro into another save, and then they'll be all tied up for the most part. So this is a big round for them, but I mean, so far so good in terms of trying to come back here. If they can just keep winning, it won't be such a bad half for these guys.
There are a lot of timely kills coming up out of the right spots. The flanks not so much for Armata. It's that first hold, and right now Reds 1 is holding down the pit, being an enforcer the way he needs to be. That consistent performance needs to continue if this is to connect into a lot of successful rounds. Flosick flicks, drops Red 1, who has been so passive and stalwart in the pit. That round, not so much. Nade in's going to do some damage, drops JMZ down to 38. Flosick's also weak. This execute on A is chaotic. Doom has the first. If he drops back to Moto, he's going to find another. Samrock's going to try to trade, and he wins that battle. 2 versus 3. You wish that those players on Justus Pro were a little bit weaker so you could nade one, but you can't always win those choices. Samrock pulls out a panic nade, sprays in while blind, can't hit the kill. Flosick almost made it away. 1 versus 2, and the nade might do it. And he's got it. Oh my god, 1 versus 1. Samrock, the much maligned player, now has a chance at redemption. Behind the center box, if he spams, he'll get the kill. Right here, he's clutched it and will start the defuse. Good God, Samrock, now's the right time in the tournament to show up. That was sick.
Yeah, a 4K for Samrock, by the way. But, I mean, that's attributed to that initial nade we saw go into the apps from that player playing in the site. It hit 2 people, brought him down to half health, and...
that was Doom.
Yeah, it was Doom. And, I mean... You saw how fast Justus Pro went for that take. As soon as they picked up red, they immediately swarmed the site, and it almost worked out for them. I mean, that speed, Armata 5, Armata just wasn't completely ready for it. They didn't expect that to come in so quickly, and it almost worked out for them. But, I mean, you know, the nice nades coming in and just keeping calm and, you know, doing as much damage as possible helped out.
When you take a site, 3 people alive, and 1 person triple clutches, essentially the strat did work. That's why they're going back to it this round. That's why Justus has found their way back into the site, and they're just shoving it right back into Armata's face, saying, fine, great, you made a good play, you're not going to do it twice.
Exactly. You know, you get that clutch, it's not guaranteed to happen every time, like you said, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. The guy, the only one left alive.
The guy's giving away his position, throwing a frag nade out for the porch, and he will walk right into AK fire, but still pick up the kill. Turns back toward mid, finds Planks waiting for him, and is dropped. Justus Pro has C7 already. Armata with only 5.
So, Justus Pro gets 7. Armata has decent enough economy to buy out here, so they should be able to. Samrock has 10k. He could definitely buy for Romulus. I would assume that's going to happen, and it does. Yeah, but I mean, Justus Pro has crossed the threshold that you don't want the terrorist team to get to. Armata, they can, of course, bring it back if they win out here. I mean, you know, you don't want the teams to have 7, but it's still something that they can come back from on the second half if they just play great. And a fire kill coming in right there, that's always a good time.
Too bad we missed it. JMZ trades Doom 4 versus 3, and the CTs are up by a man. The bomb is at the bottom of Banana, still trying to figure out where they want to go. And the T's have no map control. They're not even pressed up against the wall of the apps because the CTs have forcibly evicted them. They kicked them out. Doom coming crashing through, for example. So only now, at 1 minute in, will the T's begin to enter apartments. They'll begin to execute on A, and if they make a footstep, more than one, you can be sure from the other side of the map they're going to call for a push.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, after that 2-for-1 trade at Banana, you know, there's only 3 people left, obviously. So if they do hear something, a fake with one person really isn't going to be sell it, especially since one person in Banana
Look at the number 2 man. Look at the number 2 man.
Pretty well. Yeah, I'm on him.
Samrock's going to have a chance here, and he's just too slow. Flowsick crouched under his crosshair and sticking together with the right play. Justus knows that if they move together as a group of 3, they would have the best chance to begin trading. It ends up in a one-on-one. The guys coming from bomb site B to combat Shazam, who we will stick with to figure out where he goes to hide. And then we'll check out the guy's perspective. The last one alive turns, flicks, gets that kill, and will defuse. It'll be 7-6.
Like you said, they did a great job sticking together. Had they gone for a fake, it could have easily been thwarted. 1v2 at B, kind of pretty easy to defend for 1 man versus 2. So they did the right thing. And they actually got in the silent plan. And like you saw, they just lost one too many people when they wrapped around Moto right there and fought the man in the site. Had they had another person, that round was definitely in their favor. And honestly, I thought they were going to get it. Shazam looked like he had that kill onto the guy, but that flick shot just too strong.
This is good economic management. Some players were able to buy. 4 out of 5 were actually able to buy, and they actually chose to go with luxury sidearms for the express purpose of saving to play for the last round or 2. With this in mind, you've got a speed play here. Romulus sprays, didn't pick up that kill. We'll come back out for the second one. Everyone's flashed. There's a double for him. Planks trades out Reds. Shazam has Romulus. Doom hits a shot all the way from Moto. It's a 3 versus 2, and JMZ is limping. They'll stick together. You need to protect these guns so nobody can recover them. And in the site, Doom is fighting with a pistol, though he doesn't have to. He can just pick up any of the rifles that went down around him. 1 versus 1. Shazam has turned it around to Op versus M4A1. And a clutch. Eco round speed play. Here's the weakness exposed in Armata. There seems to be a recurring theme here. Justus Pro spent the entire half winning early and then being shut down, and they made adjustments. They read they have a problem with multi-man speed plays, particularly coming around the port side. We're going to abuse it until they can prove they can stop it, and look at the results.
There's the results being that Armata honestly couldn't stop it. I mean, every time they did go for that speed play, they got into the site and at minimum got the bomb planted if they didn't win the round. So yeah, it worked out very well for them. And now, I mean, Armata, rather than being on the winning end of this final round, they're actually on the saving end, which isn't working out good for as we just
Did you
saw.
see that JMZ spray transfer while
I did,
standing?
yeah. Ridiculous.
That was absurd. 4 versus 2. The guy and Samrock wielding not so much between them. M4A1 full kit relatively, and Samrock with a Nova. The site is clear. And I swear, I think the guy was spraying a full 15 bullets before Flowsick turned on him and traded him. 1 versus 2, and Samrock's really wounded. A single nade will do the job, which he doesn't have. Everybody's weak. I swear the shotgun could clutch the map. Oh, he thinks that they have health, so he swapped to an op. This would be the right call normally. If you have 14 HP, you try to make some quickscope shots. Makes sense. But you got to get the calls from your teammates. These guys are both weak. Just go with the shotgun. No good. JMZ has it 9-6 in an inverted score. And we have a halftime switch. You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. My partner is Klops. I should tell you that the Season 5 signups are fast closing. We're 3 days away. You're going to get all your stuff. All the stuff that you guys maybe pay for on other websites. Pugs, Match Mod, GoTV demos, scrimming, all those things here, and free if you're in a premium league. So why not use them? Why not indeed? Give me your thoughts on the half.
Honestly, I don't think Armada's in too terrible of a position. Justus Pro up obviously on the side that they shouldn't have been up, but if Armata gets this pistol round, they do have the chance to equalize, and then I think they could take it from there depending on how well they play their T side. So I wouldn't say it's 100% downhill for these guys. I still think they got a shot to take this map. It's all going to depend on the pistol round.
Does it happen?
We'll see. We'll see what Armata does here on this strat. I mean, that's what it's all going to be dependent on. If they're going to pull out something crazy like Justus Pro did and somehow weasel a guy into B and have a complete flip-flop of players, then, you know, we might see it. But I'm honestly not sure what they're planning on doing here. So
Purchases for the CTs looks to be 2 armors, some utility nades across the board, and a lot of stock pistols. 1 kit for the Ts, 4 armor, and everybody traveling together with the exception of 1 banana controller. It's a pain train through the apps. Planks tries to hit the first one. It's a jumper. Then he'll drop back to the site. He knows it's a waterfall. Calls for a teammate. I don't know why AGM's out in the middle, but he's trying to make it work, and it is kind of working. Knife attempt goes so bad for Flank. In the site, still one more. Shazam is staple gun to the wall. One coming around Moto right now. This round is so goofy looking. JMZ's dead. Flow 6 the last, and he's right around the port side. That nade might do enough to get a kill. Samrock and Ramen just ate tons of damage. But Flow 6 flank is already sniffed down. No chance for him. He's going to get gunned down. Oh my lord. He's going to get gunned down just like that. So sloppy, don't even care, was really entertaining.
It was not bad, though. They did force 3 kills right there, so that's good for the CTs at least. I mean, Armata just hit some great shots there on the entries and made it happen, got to the site, forced the bomb plant, and now they have the chance to equalize here. They should be able to get these next 2 rounds, which will tie the game, and that should be when the gun round happens. And if they could just, you know, keep the momentum going from these next wins, should they get them, and take the gun round from Justus Pro, then they got a really good shot of just, you know, going in and finishing the game off.
That's really wishful thinking, especially when you're trying to execute that plan that you just laid out on the T side of Inferno. And Armata has not yet proven to me, and it's not imperative that they prove anything to me, but they haven't proven to me that they can do that. They've tried before.
They definitely have. I think they have what it takes. It's obviously going to be a matter of execution. So,
look at the 5-man rotate toward
wow.
B.
And look at this. They're heading towards
Armata read it. Somebody at the bench had heard Armata's rotate back, called his teammates, said, I hear a herd of people moving in. They'll try to flank CT, get some early kills. Somehow
no.
Shadow
Are they going to wrap to B?
This is a bad idea, and they need to pick up the bomb. They have not yet read bomb site A. They've gotten a little sloppy with their information gathering. Now they're trying to pen in the CTs, and they've made their educated decision. They said, something's wrong here. Let's check out A. A is clear. Let's plant. Let's fight 3 versus 4. But we have to be careful. There are guns in CT. We should leave our lurker in CT.
I think that's a smart choice, leaving the lurker in CT. I mean, he does have the gun advantage versus pistols, and like you said, there's a gun to be picked up, so he should protect that if he can.
He's going to have to surrender some positioning. JMZ will come into the... Never mind, he never even steps foot. Oh! Shazam walks in with the 1D with authority, then the LOL. I cannot believe that worked. Reds 1 is in the pit in a strong position versus 2 weak players, but they have rifles. He needs to kill 1 fast, and he does. Nose stuck defuse, and the spray down Red saves his teammates from having an embarrassing eco round loss. There's another win for Armata.
So those 2 eco rounds, Justus Pro did get quite a few kills, but they don't have enough to force a save. I mean, Shadow Assassin and Flow 6 do, but it wouldn't be good to have 2 people buy and the rest of the team, just be packing pistols. I mean, just an unfortunate turn of events, though. They decided to go stack B, and Armata happened to walk into A, and then almost wrapped to B, which it then again almost worked out in our Justus Pro's favor, but they got their senses together and decided to go back to the naked bomb site.
Pop frag nades thrown up mid to, well, push back the pushers. Shazam doesn't take too much damage from it, but there was at least a warning. Don't try it every round. You're going to eat 2 nades if you do. 4 Ts moving into Banana for the split execute. No, it's for a set piece. Samrock sets up. You can see him positioning a flashbang or perhaps a smoke for CT. We have a single lurk on the other side of the map. It's Romulus waiting outside the apartments. And the rotate's on. Justus Pro is doing relatively the same rotate back, and Armata's about to not read it and execute blindly on this site. It could be a disaster. Doom is in. He'll be a scout. This is a good play. He's made sure that I'm the scout. I'm going to try to figure this out for my team. I will take all the risk. He knows that they're stacked, but he's getting the kill, so they'll come in. There's a TK. Flank shoots through the smoke, finds Samrock in sort of a crazy stroke of luck. And he'll just hide in the smoke, trying to make a play on top of the spools. No headshot there. And the last rotator, JMZ, is in. I can't tell you how impressed I am, how mature the decision-making was for Armata. They said, okay, we can throw a set piece in. We could just burst our way into the site, but we're going to let Doom do the scouting because he doesn't have a weapon. He's going to take the risk.
Yeah, very nice execution, like he said, and I mean, it paid off for Doom because he picked up 2 kills and just made it that much more easy, that much easier for Armata to get into the site. But yeah, I mean, that has a play by those guys. I mean, really strong. It just shows that they're a team that's learning a lot, and they're not making rookie mistakes that much anymore.
Oh, man, it hurts. 3 dropped immediately, and Armada's probably already lost this round. We were just heralding how much they had matured, having spent some time in CEVO P, but this round, you wouldn't know it. Samrock and Reds won, the last 2 alive, and they're about to walk into a headshot. There it is. Reds won's the last one. He has the bomb, which is some sort of positive, maybe.
In my opinion, he's got to just try to save this. I know it's a minute left in the round, but he's got to fight tooth and nail to try to save this because they need the gun for the next round. And if they lose it, I mean, that's just more damage to their economy, which they honestly can't afford in the position that they're in.
This is harsh. It's a long time to wait. It's a very, very long time to wait. Reds 1, our number 3, is who we're following. He's back at T-spawn holding the bomb, and he knows. He absolutely knows that people are closing in and around him. He cannot be left to have this gun if he's in the minds of Justus Pro's signal caller. So he's got to keep moving. There's no way to camp out the remainder of this time.
He's moved, I mean, pretty much throughout the entire map.
Yeah, he's still moving a little.
Yeah, he's like, okay, I think I found a spot where I should be good. And I mean, it looks like he's in a pretty decent spot. He's just got to deal with this one player right here, JMZ.
And he had the crosshair just a little low, had the crosshair right at his chin. JMZ was a little higher, right at his head. 10 rounds for Justus Pro. They take a lead again.
Oh, so I thought Armata was going to be able to buy out here. But looking at Samrock, he's at 1,500. I think, was there TK that round? How is he so low?
So there was.
Something?
It was on the CT side though, and this one on the T side, I don't think so.
Huh. They didn't buy an op. I don't know how he got so low. Maybe he just died every round.
Mysteries of casting sometimes.
Either way, I would have expected a buy there, but they didn't have it, so they do have to force a save, and this is most likely going to give Justus Pro another round and just, that much more of a lead against these guys when they can't afford it.
And inside the archway, Shazam has one, looks to be traded. Red Ones drops him, and then there's the rotator. The bomb gets dropped. A quick double for Flowsick. The last one alive is the guy, and he was on the wrap. He's at the other side of this bracket, and he is moving into the site still. Gets gunned down. He just wanted to get that one over with. Justus Pro has 11.
Yep. So this is going to be the buy and a big round for Armada, because if they don't get this, then that's just going to force them into yet another save. Well, unless they can get the bomb down. But they need to be wary of Shazam's op. On the initial gun round, they weren't looking for that, and I think that's what initially got Justus Pro a kill, was him just getting a pick down mid, which, in my opinion, Shazam is opping. He was doing it T-side pretty much every round, and you should expect that CT, so you got to be able to play against that, Don't peek mid. Oh, man. And just as I'm talking about it, he picks up Samrock.
That's an awareness thing. Shazam is an aggressive opper. He's successfully mid-picked you a couple times now. Why would you do that? You need to have a teammate at the hay bales throwing you a pop flash to make him move.
Yeah, pop flash, get someone into boiler even, or just, force him off his spot with a flash and then smoke his side off and then execute onto porch side. There's multiple ways to deal with the opper, and they just aren't implementing them.
JMZ in the Euro boost position all the way down banana, and it seems that the map control is so drastically in favor of Justus Pro that the flank is going to come too fast for Armata to react, and maybe they won't even need it. It's cleaned up. Justus Pro has 12 to Armata's 9.
They went for the entry and just got completely obliterated right there. Not even a chance to trade out any kills. I mean, all those kills coming in from Justus Pro came in at exactly the same time, it seems. So, initial pick and leaving 4 people versus 3 trying to enter, that's just really...
Did it feel like the wind was just sucked out of the sails as soon as Samrock made that sort of foolish peek out into mid?
Yeah, it seems that way. I mean, the fact that they lost the initial gun round and they kind of lost it due to Shazam getting that aggressive peek. I mean, You got to be aware of what the enemy team is doing, and if you just haphazardly walk into what they expect.
Why did the bomb run into the site by himself? What is Doom
fire
doing?
too. Ran through fire.
Okay, so the bomb is down in the site, and the T's can't recover it because the bomb carrier ran through fire and then ran into a site full of CTs. I don't typically go with the Twitch chat rhetoric, but the throws.
It does seem that way. It really does. I mean, it seems as if Armada's confidence is shattered right now. And I don't know if they're going to be able to get it back in this map. Maybe it's going to just take going into the second map for them to regain their stride.
That's not a matter of confidence. Yeah, that's just a matter of don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, I feel like when your confidence gets shattered, you kind of think, whatever, I don't care anymore. And then you start making boneheaded plays. So...
Okay, we'll re-smoke Banana. No one's coming back through here. Samrock's got an AK. He's just got about 25 seconds to figure out what he wants to do with his life and if he wants to go back to grad school or something. It's going to be 13-9. And of course, I'm sorry those people who I gave freedom. It's anti-spoiler time. Your rights are removed. Tough. How do you come back? What do you do? What is there to do? Your economy won't even let you do that much. You can buy, sure, and because you've been saving up money for a while, you can buy, but you're not in the op range.
Or they are, as we see Doom pick up an op. So he's going for the yellow op, which is fine as long as he gets this pick on Shazam, which Shazam is going to peek. So, I mean, he does have a good shot for it. I'm going to go to his perspective to watch his op duel unfold. I mean, if he does get this pick, that's going to be huge for Armata, as then they should be able to pressure A or B, because B will have to play. Well, Shazam changes his whole position right now, I think.
Yes, he did. He's taken over the Banana, sat at the top of the yellow, dropped Doom, and the nade down will do even more damage. It might have actually killed Samrock if Loki hadn't done it first with the spam through. What? Romulus takes a shot and a prayer, drops Shazam, and Shazam's got to be equally as confused. Now Flosic will try to retreat and also not eat a bullet on the way out. 4 versus 3. The T's are down 1, but in still manageable territory, and they still control the all-important AWP. You got to stick together for this one, right? You need to use your numbers advantage.
Yeah, and they have the advantage going towards A. There's only 2, but now the rotate is coming in. You got the number 7 man who's in that boost position, so if they do rotate towards B, they're probably going to get killed because they don't know he's there. And so that's why they rotated over Floki to the arch side, because he doesn't really need to be there. Now they have a 3-on-3, and it's exactly what Justus Pro wants, and they're in a good spot now.
Here's the execute, up and around. Shadow Assassin Ray jams inside the side, picks up a double, cleans it up, and did you see that, TK? It came out. It wasn't even like a surprise. The guy was out of the boiler for a full second and a half.
The little, yeah, the
and he just shot him anyway.
Kill. Yeah. Oh no. So, I mean, I was gonna say they're probably gonna have to save, but it's game point, or not game point, tie point. So they are gonna go to force, and it looks like they're trying to just get the win here and actually try to go for the win. I don't know. I mean, their buy isn't too bad. They have plenty of nades, so I guess it's okay. No armor, no head armor on Reds and Doom, and 2 Galils. I'm not really liking that, but
oh god. Shazam comes out with the magic trick and then stays just long enough to get dinked and dropped, so that trade is very favorable for Armata. There's another one. The guy has that shot. This one suddenly looks a lot different than I thought it was going to.
Press on the gas and get in there.
Or they can reverse and take 4 versus 1 on the single person pushing out a Banana. Planks is waiting to execute anybody who comes up and around this corner. Up on the balcony, waits, picks up 1, tries to transfer. Oh my god, nobody checked. No comms were given. Nobody could identify that Planks was just given free reign to shoot them. 15-9. This one's almost over. We're going to another map, certainly.
Well,
but maybe the way that this is playing, I don't see 3.
It's kind of looking like that. I mean, it's going to depend what the do we know what the second map is?
We should, but we don't, so no.
Okay. Well, we'll find out. I mean, it's going to depend what the second map is, and it's going to depend whether or not Armata can pick themselves back up. I mean, that round right there, that was just kind of another throw. I mean, they had the opportunity to go in there. They know. I mean, you pick up the opper, you pick up the arch side point. I mean, the port side point.
Just someone tell me where the comms were. One guy, it's not like the M4A1
But
was hidden.
you should know that the last guy is going to be pit. If you get porch, arch, then it's always going to be pit, right? Last guy.
Don't ask me, right? Don't ask me. You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. My partner